A family's $1,200 mortgage surge. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your ice-cold stein of coffee and let's have a look, once I get this working, at this article about a Gold Coast family, not too far away from me, just down the Gold Coast, who's, well, potentially losing their home and whose mortgage is going to surge by $12,000, their repayments. Now, if we have a look over here, we can see, well, this is an example. Going from 1.99 up to 6.34%, you're looking at nearly a $2,000 surge. But even say we're going to 5%, you're looking there at a $1,300 surge. This is on 786 grand, 4.5%, which is more in line with what you're getting it now, $1,000 more. Now, this 1.99, this very low interest rate we have, no one should have anticipated that this would be long term. We all knew it was a joke. We all knew it was temporary and emergency. The problem is, people believed the media, when the media reported the RBA without all the specific caveats, that they anticipated rates will stay at 0.1%, the cash rate target, until 2024. And obviously this chart shows you that has not happened. So a lot of us, well, we knew that didn't trust them, so we locked in. We knew it wouldn't go negative, because while the media has reported some of the banks have been instructed to it, the governor himself said he's not going to do it. This really, the problem with all of this is people are trusting Koshi. People are trusting Koshi when it comes to these type of financial decisions, and not just Koshi in particular, the media, the mainstream media, and they don't dig any deeper. Normies are not going to watch the Economic Standing Committee from the Senate and the Reserve Bank governors reports to them. No one's going to watch that, okay? I watch it because I've got a YouTube channel and I'm interested in it, but I'm not normal. So, a Gold Coast family is extremely stressed about potentially losing their home. Well, yes, they should be if they can't meet their mortgage repayments, but what you're going to have to do is cut your costs to the bone and find more money. That's what you're going to have to do. So, with homeowners on a knife edge as interest rates are due to be hiked again, a Gold Coast family is worried about losing their home. At least they're worried about it now. They have time to prepare. Jason Ross and his wife Emma felt extremely lucky to be able to buy their dream family home, but now they're worried they could lose it. The couple fixed their mortgage rate 2 years ago with a low 2.5% with Bank West, but it's due to expire on Valentine's Day, with a chance their rate could jump to a whopping 6.3%. Then shop around. They need to shop around and get a better deal. That's first thing you need to do. Make the banks work for your business, okay? Jason said they currently pay around $2,000 a month for their 4-bedroom Gold Coast home, but the rise in interest rates would see their finances take a hit in the thousands. An interest rate of 6.3% would add an extra $1,200 to their monthly repayments, which Jason said would almost double what they are currently paying. The couple, who have 2 kids aged 3 and 8 months, have watched interest rates rise for 8 consecutive months in 22. Another rate rise is predicted tomorrow, and Jason describes the huge hikes as stomach turning. There is no, but here's the thing, did he not think it was going to happen? Did he believe the media in reporting that it was not going to go up? He probably did. It sounds like he did. Or did he go too close to the edge? Maybe he wasn't ready to buy a house. But when you've got kids, I understand. You want a home. You want stability. These are places on the Gold Coast. The Gold Coast has gotten stupid with how expensive it is. There's definitely a lot of stress with the whole cost of living going up so much, especially with fuel and food. And then my wife has just come off maternity leave for our young one, so we are added the extra cost of kindy on top of that. He told news.com.au, well, don't send your child to kindy. You can save money. They don't need to go to kindy. Or is he talking about childcare so his wife can work? Maybe you've got to find a way to do things a bit differently. This is the challenge. I remember kindy. I was shocked when we sent our first to kindy. So much money for bugger all. And then they're still They're still wanting to milk you to mow the bloody lawn, to do this fundraiser, that fundraiser. They want you there nearly every other day, being a free worker for them in the kindy, while your kids are clapping along to all these hippy-dippy shit songs and things. So yeah, we kind of put an end to kindy. School is cheaper than kindy. We were extremely stressed about the fact that we thought with those repayments we wouldn't be able to afford the house, and we thought we could lose it. When it comes down to it, you can't sell and buy something cheaper, as everything is the same price, so we're not going to gain anything, and we're not going to be able to rent, as rentals are around the same price as repayments, so the amount of stress it added with definitely sleepless nights. Well, you've got to find a way to make it happen, to be a bit cheaper. You've got to cut costs, okay? You got to cut costs, you really got to. The Gold Coast couple purchased their 4-bedroom home for $500,000 back in 2017. And Jason said they were lucky to even be able to get into the property market. $500,000 isn't that bad in 2017. Why, if they had it in 2017, why didn't they lock in for a lower rate? So they didn't jump on the sub 2% rates. They should have gone sub 2% for 4 or 5 years if they could have. They were around. Maybe they can't with their LVR or something, I don't know. So the only way we were able to get in it is my wife and I were renting when we were first together for a couple of years. We were trying to save and couldn't get anywhere, he explained. My father went away for 6 months overseas. We were able to live in his house and put the funds together for 6 months and save a deposit. So that, I mean, their parents helped him out then with free rent, which is perfectly fine. If you've got that opportunity, take it. Take it. Don't be too proud. Okay? We were super excited to buy our home. It was something that we didn't think we would be able to obtain for a while, but once we did, it was definitely a sigh of relief, and we were extremely excited to get into something that we could call our own, as it's obviously the Australian dream. You want that stability. It felt like my wife and I had been working flat out and actually gotten to the goal. Jason works in sales and customer service while his wife is a paramedic. And with their fixed rate due to expire, they have reached out to a mortgage broker who has assured the couple they can get a lower rate than 6.3%. Yeah, 6.3 is a bit high. They'll get somewhere around 4.5%, I'd bet. The 37-year-old said a lower rate would be a relief, but the family will still need to cut back on expenses, although he admitted that would be difficult. Really? Has he ever tried? There's not much you can trim the fat off. That's the hard thing about it, he added. It might come down to extra overtime for my wife or possibly an extra job for me. I mean, these are the things what people are going to do to keep their home. This is like the boomers with their 18% interest rates just pushing through, finding a way to make it happen. That's just what you're going to have to do for a couple of years. It's going to suck, but it's part of life. But we have to bring into consideration the 2 kids, as we don't want to have work. We don't want to have to work tooth or nail all the time and not spend time with our kids. Yeah, it's going to suck. He said families being slammed with interest rates rises was disappointing, as the cost of living is already making things tough with rising prices from electricity to food. Well, don't worry, electricity is going to get even more expensive, particularly here in Queensland, thanks to our push for this renewable stuff. Just waiting for them to have to top it up with diesel generators when we don't get enough rain or when we don't get enough wind or sunshine. I'm just waiting. The fact they're putting on extra rate rises means most families are going to be in my sort of situation where you're almost doubling their actual repayment over this short period of time. And so many people are coming off this fixed rate like I am. He said, a lot of people are coming off the fixed rate, but what were you paying before the fixed rate? How long have you been in the property? I can see so many people who are going to be losing their homes or not going to be able to put actual food on the table, so it's a lot of stress. They're going to make changes to their lifestyle. That's what they're going to do. Unfortunately, the cost of living is going up so much and wages aren't following, and that's the saddest thing about it. Well, we haven't really had any inflation in Australia in living memory. Everyone is in for a tougher time with the way things are going. I feel for everyone out there. Jason and Emma are one of the 800,000 mortgage holders in Australia who are facing a mortgage cliff, as the roll-off ultra-low fixed rates, according to the RBA, with 1/5 of loans seeing their fixed rate ending this year. I mean, how many, I know a lot of the viewers have gotten the low fixed rate, but how many of you like have a low mortgage and got the fixed rate just for the lulls, just for the cheap money? Interest rates have risen from a record low of 0.1% to 3.1% since May, and are tipped to go up to 3.35% on Tuesday or tomorrow. Some are tipping it to go even higher. The fastest tightening cycle in a generation, despite the RBA boss saying hikes would not start until 2024. He didn't say that particularly. This is the thing. This is how the media keeps reporting it. This is how they report it. They don't report it with all the backstory. It's dependent on a whole bunch of things beyond his control, essentially. Australia is just going along for the ride, guys. It's just going along for the ride. They juiced up the housing market to no end. You know, let's remind ourselves here of how the government came to the rescue for property, guys, and how they juiced up the market. Let me just remind you here. Okay, the government came to the rescue. Nope, that's not working. Great. Now, well, I'll show you next time. They juiced it up. So none of this is, we're not going to learn the lessons, are we? It's going to be more calls for the same thing. I'm worried that my joke of mortgage keeper will turn into reality. I hate the fact that we've got shared equity now as a proposal. The only saving grace we have is that the politicians pumping out all this shit are capping it like 10,000 homes for the 2% super cheap deposits. They're not going as nuts as America. So at least that's one good thing. With predictions, rates could go as high as 3.6% or more. The RBA's own internal research shows the level of stress this would place on homeowners. It revealed 15% of all homeowners on variable mortgage rates would see their spare cash flow turn negative, meaning they wouldn't earn enough money to cover the mortgage, let alone buy food. Mortgage choice broker Matt McGrath, who is helping the Ross family, recommended people start to look at their options about 3 to 4 months before the end of the fixed term to start planning the next steps. Be careful not to act before your fixed term ends, as your lender may charge early exit or break fees. You may need this amount of time to understand your current position, research potential broker or lending alternatives, and compare your options. You may also need property valuations and conduct all valuations conducted, and all this takes time. He advised people to seek advice and chat with an expert, as banks are currently fighting for your business, including offering discounted variable rates, cash rebates, and incentives, with offers of up to $4,000 to refinance. Yeah, we've had one viewer who shared the story, but this is a unique guy. He was a doctor, so you know you can borrow like 105% the value of your property if you're in medicine. And what he did, he went from one bank to the other. And then his own bank matched the offer and gave him $2,000. And he went back to the other bank and they said, okay, take that, wait 30 days, then come to us and you get both. So his own bank lowered the rate, gave him money, waited a month, went to the other bank, lowered rate, money. Cha-ching. So make them work for it, okay? It's important that you take the time to understand what your interest rate will be reverting to at the end of your fixed period and what fixed rate offerings are available with your current lender, he said. Your broker might be able to negotiate reduced rates for you and or compare what your current lender has offered against what is currently in the market. It is important that you understand your current position first in order to have a benchmark to compare. Well, let's have a bit of a talk. So guys, a bit of fear and concern there. This family is obviously in a stressed position. I don't think they're going to hit the rates at 6.5%. There's certainly lower options on the market. They'll have to shop around and they'll get a better rate. They're just going to have to change their lifestyle. They've got 4 bedrooms. The problem is with kids, you can't really rent out a room. Maybe a family member that's renting somewhere, you can bring them in. Find a way to save money. You know, worst case comes, move into the garage of your dad's place and do it real tough. You know, make it fun. Go camping and rent out the whole house. Do that for a year. You may have to. I mean, you got to think outside the box if you want to keep your home, okay? Because if you sell it, you're kind of screwed. Because even if price is correct, getting back in the market's going to be a nightmare. You're going to be at a loss. So people, I imagine, will do whatever they can to stay in their homes. They're going to fight for them. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this one. Check out my other channels, HeiseBim and Heise Does. And if you're a fan and want to support us, you can financially on YouTube or Patreon. Use our referral links, buy our pocket squares, or call us if you need an architect. Take care, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next episode of HeiseSays. Bye for now.